Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new to the channel and you want to know what it's about, basically I talk about the police state, politics, news and all the stuff and all the heinous stuff that the government doing and the general destruction of the UK and everything bad what's going on, and then a bit of AI, smart cities and all that malarkey. So basically, yeah, I want to talk about the power of 7. So on the 7th of September, so this Sunday coming, because today is Friday, they're gonna basically do the emergency alert system. So everybody's gonna get a text message at 3 o'clock to test the system. And I'm thinking, is this connected to like something they're planning? Because they got the Tommy Robinson event in London on the 13th, and I'm just wondering, is it to do with that? Because they want to get a system in place because they want to basically use it for future events. So with 7, it's the most unique number. It's used in so many things, like if you look at 9/11 and with September, if you translate it into Latin it translates to 7, and then set it in French is 7. And then if you think I'm crazy, do your own research on this and look at October, which is the 10th month officially, but October is the 8th month because you've got octagon is 8-sided, you've got octopus has got 8 tentacles, and then you got December, which is 10, which in French is 10. So the months are all messed up, and it should be really about 10 months, and each month should be 28 days. And that's why it don't make no sense when you have New Year, when the season hasn't finished. The New Year really is April the 1st. But anyway, you look inside yourself, just doesn't make sense. Even if you look at it and you'll always be used to that date, it's always stuck in your mind that the beginning of the year is the 1st of January, but look at the season is still ongoing. Normally the yearly system is based on seasons, so winter's not finished, so you have a new year when it's still winter, which doesn't make no sense. But then should it be April, because that's a new season, and the tax year is in April, and the Thai New Year is in April, and the Chinese New Year is in February, I believe. So are we just following the Roman system? But yeah, let's get on to number 7. So you had the terrorist attacks 7/7 in London. You have the 7 sins, the 7 wonders of the world, the 7 continents, 7 sisters, 007. You have the military intelligence branch, the 77th Brigade, and yeah, it just comes up again and again, and 7 days of the week. And then you have, what's it? So what have I covered? 7 wonders, 7 seas, 7 sins, the 7 hills of Rome, Hydra, the 7-headed, was it the 7-headed beast? Yeah, it just comes up again and again because it's the most unique number. And then 9/11, you look at that. If September is the 7th month, then it's 7/11, and basically on the 9/11, the 9 maybe basically represents the end of an era, and then the 11 is a 2-1, so you have the 2 towers, which is in Freemasonry, the 2 pillars of Freemasonry, because you see in every lodge there'll be a pillar here and a pillar there, and that basically represents the pillars of the Freemasonic lodge. And in New York, you look at the Freemasonic capital or powerhouse of America, and then you've got the twin tower churches, because they said that King James Bible was written by Freemasons. And then you go onto the Saturn aspect with the cross. If you make a shape, if you make basically a cube and you fold it out, it folds out into a cross, like I mentioned before. But the 7, yeah, they always use the 7 because it's the most unique number, and this is why it's all symbolic. This is why they do certain things on certain days. It's like you look at the emergency number, it's 3 9s, you turn it upside down, it's 3 6s. It's not there by accident. They play this game and it's like they've got to play with the numbers and they've got to allow you to know what's going on, so they do the predictive programming. So they put it in a movie like Demolition Man, they show you electric cars years before they come out, and even the sound of the electric cars are exactly the same as what they are now. So they need to program you to normalise it, so basically when it does happen you won't basically think anything of it, it just become normal. It's what you call predictive programming. So yeah, it's always a numbers game, and then you see the 7s come up again, like gambling, the 3 7s. And then 1917 and all these special dates where they introduce different things, and that was the Bolshevik Revolution. Because they always like to do this sort of stuff, all the satanic stuff, evil stuff, between September and October. And last year they were attacking Israel, which is probably Mossad agents, and that was on the 7th of October. So they've chosen the 7th of September to start the system, start the test, in preparation for something much bigger. Yeah, so going back to what I was saying about this Tommy Robinson event, a lot of people trust him, but he's an agent, he's a Zionist. You know, like, whatever angle you're coming from, like, if you follow him because you think he's there to help you, he's not. Because he's, like, by supporting the Zionists who form most of the Middle Eastern policy. Like, you look at America, it's not, they're not independently run. It's basically American policy is Israeli policy. You can see it, like, you see all the payoffs. Like AIPAC, they pay off all the American politicians, and they're not serving the American people, they're serving Israel. They're serving the Star of Moloch. You know, and he's definitely screwed America with all these tariffs. It's a tax on the people. But yeah, I think Robinson, I think he's just an agent. He could even be Mossad, I don't know. But all he does these events and it's static. It doesn't go anywhere. And as soon as the shit goes down, he runs off. He runs off to Spain, claiming he's the victim, but he's never there. He's always like disappearing, and he lets other people get arrested. And he's basically leading all these people to a static protest, which is not going to achieve anything. Yeah, I don't know if I said I'm in Bristol, but I'm in the city centre, so it's St James's Barton roundabout. Some people call it the Bear Pit. And look at these cameras. Look at it, spying on everyone. I say it's for your safety, but if they cared about your safety, then they'd stop the boats every day, wouldn't they? And they'd stop allowing criminals to walk the streets, and then be more harsh on criminals. But they don't, do they? It's just lies after lies after lies. Well, yeah, I haven't been here for a while. I've been here for 18 months. So, be interested to see what happens in the next couple of months. I think something's going to happen. The markets are going to crash at some time, and you got US debt level over 40 trillion, UK debt level over 4 trillion. You got the European Union want to release the central bank digital currency euro. They're pushing it this right in. Oh, so annoying. Members with small penises have to rev their motorbikes up to make them sound bigger. Oh man. So yeah, I was expecting to come back to Bristol, and I thought it was going to be really bad, but it just looks better than last time I was here. Doesn't mean it is better, it just looks better. But yeah, but even though I live in a small town, I see the differences. It's like in general, like, things are going downhill, and it could be the health service, your GP, the roads, Just things in general like decay, and there's a lot of weeds growing everywhere, not just here. You see in a lot of areas things are not being kept up together and standards are slipping. But yeah, I do suspect something is going to happen, and it could be a terror attack. And I think that's why they want to get this emergency alert going, to get everybody normalised to it, and then when it does happen, everybody will be in fear again. And they're pushing the digital ID now. They're going to get you to get the digital ID so they can track everything you do online, every payment, every service, every website, every single thing you do online. They want your presence followed and tracked. They sell you convenience, they sell you basically a solution to the problem. So problem, reaction, solution. So they say about the boats, we do digital ID to stop the boats, but they could stop it if they wanted to, but they don't want to, because they want to abolish the borders. They want to delete Irishness, Britishness, Englishness, or whatever, French, German, because they want a super state. So they need to import people who will not fight for the country to allow that to happen. Because who's going to fight for a country they don't belong to? And that is the mechanism they're going to use to overthrow. And if you don't think this has happened before, look at Turkey. It's part of Greece. And then you look at the Balkans, and all these areas are changing. But that's what they do. Problem, reaction, solution. Yeah, going back to the last video when I was talking about the civil engineer psyop. Because this is what they do, they engineer people like they've done in Russia. Like the Bolsheviks come in with their finance from New York via Wall Street, because capitalism funded communism, and the isms, they all come from the same people. They create the system and they get everybody to fight each other, so it's divide and conquer, because that's how they stay in control. Because if you have everyone fighting against each other, then they're weaker, instead of uniting and then taking down the system. So they have to plant basically disruptors, and they have to cause the problem first, then you get a reaction, then you get the solution. And that's the thing with any heroes, they always find someone. You want a hero, they supply one. So in America they think Donald Trump's a hero, but he's really there to destroy America. That's what September 11th was about. The day they took those towers down was the countdown to the collapse of America. And you look at America, it's all Masonic. Like there's Statue of Liberty, there's chains on the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. It was donated by the Freemasons of France. Then you look at Washington. You look at the Washington Monument, sorry. That's Osiris. And then Isis room is represented by the Capitol building. You know, it's all Masonic. You know, there's nothing like all these MPs and politicians, they're only there because they're part of the club. You have to be in the club to be a member. And you think of it, the President of the United States. The United States is a company, it's a business. United States corporation. Donald Trump is the president of that corporation. And that's the thing people don't get. The councils are businesses, the police are businesses, the health service is a business. That's probably what your NHS number is, so they can charge it back from your account or to your account. You know, the whole system is sold to you like it's helping you, and really it's screwing you. It always has been screwing you. And if you want freedom, you need to stop supporting the system. By voting, you empower them, you authorise them to continue all the fuckery against you. It's complete fuckery. You go to work, they steal 20% of your money. You don't have a say in it. You know, tax is theft. Is theft. Taxation is theft. and then they take your money and they spend it on shit what you don't agree to. You know, they lie to you about council tax. You pay council tax. Most of it doesn't go to the local area. You know, it's all fraud. It's all deception. And then they say about all these wars and all these people, like Gaddafi was bad when he'd done a lot of good. He wanted to drop the US dollar. Same as Saddam Hussein, he wanted to drop the US dollar. And Abraham Lincoln wanted to stop using their monetary system. So they assassinated him. You know, all these wars, they're not natural. Vietnam, America started that war. World War I and World War II, Britain started those wars. Israel set up, the supporters of Zionism set up World War II to set up the whole state of Israel. Because the Jews in Europe wouldn't move, so they had to start a war to get them to relocate to Palestine to start the new state. Because the Zionists, basically, these people come from Caesarea, which is now Ukraine. They're the Ashkenazi Khazarians. They've been kicked out of more countries than anybody else. And every time they infiltrate every government, they infiltrate every single thing. They buy off everyone. They turn each people against each other so they can stay in power. You know, you look at the Greater Israel project, it links up to Caesarea, or what Ukraine is now, and that's just genocide to kill Christians. And Zelensky's not even Christian. It's just like Stalin done before. He killed, was it 20 million Soviets? Because Ukraine wasn't even a country then, it was part of USSR. It only became a country after USSR broke up. But communism has never been Russian, it was just the first victim of communism. Anyway, that's enough on that. So yeah, just be wary. I would keep away from that protest. I just think it's a trap. I just think it's there either to dilute what people are trying to raise, or is there to basically help facilitate a terror attack on the 13th of September. That's why they want to do the emergency alert, to get that set up and get it normalised. Because they're running out of time to do things, and they want to get everything implemented. They want to get central bank digital currency, digital ID set up. They want Israel to expand, and now they've bloody genocided most of Gaza. Now they're talking about a ceasefire, and then they attack Syria, Lebanon and everybody else. America is continuing to be destroyed one step at a time. 40 trillion in debt, which can never be paid back. Don't matter how many dollars they print, that debt cannot be serviced. And just basically the US empire is coming to an end, because that's why they have BRICS as well. So all the BRIC countries are buying gold, so they're going to start their basically the central bank digital currency, and then all the other countries will follow suit. So they're doing it east against west. The transfer of wealth is moving from Europe and North America to the east, where China will be the new #1, and then Russia, it'll be like a joint, basically multipolar world control system. And they like China because it's more authoritative, and Russia the same. South Africa is just corrupt. I don't even know why South Africa is part of it, because they're not in the same league. And I think Nigeria is a bigger economy in Africa than South Africa is. But yeah, just be wary of this protest. The emergency alert, I mean, I've got an old phone, so I'm not going to get it, which is a good thing. I don't want to buy into all their bullshit fear and propaganda, and I don't want to play a part in their system or support it in any way. But anyway, yeah, sorry it's a bit rushed, but I was just trying to get it out because I'm a bit busy today. I get it done today. Couldn't do a video yesterday because it was just raining everywhere I went. I was travelling mostly yesterday. Tomorrow, I don't know, be an interesting location to film, but I'll try and do a video on Sunday possibly. Anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you if you watch my videos regularly. Please subscribe, like, subscribe, share. It helps me out. And speak to you soon. Take care.